Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Welcome once again to another episode of Agents in the Trenches. This conversation is just getting better and better by the day. And yes, this is Lucy Quinones, your friend in the real estate world here in Southwest Florida and internationally as well. And Agents in the Trenches, as you know, is that real life struggles of real estate agents in this new market. And today we're going to have a really hot topic, because one thing is being out there hunting for deals and having to pound the pavement to get those deals, right? Work those deals. But what happens when suddenly those deals start to fall apart? And to join me in this conversation, as always, is my running partner, Talia. Good morning, Tali.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone, because we know that there's people watching, during different times. So today we want to unpack a little bit about, it's one thing to be out there getting business. I had a conversation with an agent the other day that was telling me, I've got a bunch of listings, but they're not moving. I got a bunch of listings, but they're not moving. What am I going to do? And then on the other side, we have agents that are working with buyers that are having trouble in the negotiation part, right? So their challenge is the negotiation part. So what do you do when you are like so happy, so excited, you finally got the buyer, you got the seller, you're ready to put a deal together, and all hell starts to break loose with the negotiations? So let's unpack that a little bit from your perspective. What have you seen? What have you heard?
Well, from my experience or from other people's experience?
In general.
Well, it's always good to have someone to lean on for negotiations, especially when you haven't gone through enough of them to know what to do or what you can leverage when you start negotiating with the other agent. So, it's I've heard of horror stories of agents, dealing with it alone and, having deals fall apart because they don't know what they could leverage, and then of course I've heard agents of just, doing their best, trying to find their answers and, all online on their own, right? So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So actually going online to try to get answers for negotiation issues?
Yes, literally just either searching on Google, searching on YouTube, because YouTube you can I think get answers for everything, but getting like some tips and tricks with how to leverage certain things in negotiation, or how to negotiate, or what you can use to negotiate, things like that. I've heard of agents going online for that as well.
And you know what? That's the funny part is like, okay, so I wonder how do you Google a negotiation issue? Let's say with someone that wants to, let's just, for example, let's just say someone just wants to do additional inspections and take the property off the market for, an extended amount of time, which means that the seller is going to be at a disadvantage, because every day counts when you're selling a home. I mean, every day that potential ideal buyer could be out there. So how would Google help?
Maybe giving ideas. I mean, because there's no one size fit all with negotiations, right? So I mean, every situation is different. So maybe it's a way to get ideas on, okay, maybe I can I don't know. I haven't Googled it myself. I have no idea what it looks like.
That would be something interesting to Google. Like, okay, my buyer wants, extra time to do. I'm sure, and you know what? I think it all boils down to, so who has to handle that conversation? Because it's one thing going to Google and getting an idea, but somebody has to make the stomach twisting and turning phone call, that phone call that you don't want to make. So it's not the same.
No, it's
right?
not. It's not. I'm sure they at that point, I mean, they can't get Google to make that phone call for them. But
Maybe you could get the artificial intelligence, right? You can get AI to jump on the phone. So here's the thing, there is a reason why in this season, real estate agents, and I'm going to ask everyone that's watching this to share this, on your groups, share this, drop a comment, put #live if you're on live. So let's go ahead and push #live. Let's activate our chat real quick here. But and share this on some of the groups, as we unpack this conversation, because right now, a lot of the top producers in North America are recognizing the power of being part of a team, leveraging other human resources. Look, at the end of the day, we are not all good at the same thing. So being part of a team, even if it's, and here's what I'm saying, you could be a team leader and be part of an organization that gives you support as a team leader, so that in the event of needing to leverage other human resources, you are not alone, because that is huge. There are organization leaders right now, like myself in Latin America. I'm leading a group in Latin America. I'm coaching my business partners in Latin America. Wednesdays at 11 a.m. I'm taking my time, my efforts, my resources, my attention, my experience to help them grow, to help them leverage, right, what they need to be able to go to that next level. But here in North America, we're seeing that as well. And here's the concept, my friends that are watching this now or later. Here's the concept. The concept is that in this new season, the value of community is greater than ever. In this new season, the value of community is greater than ever. Being able to bounce ideas off of another leader, being able to feel the support of other leaders, being able to brainstorm with other leaders, being able to leverage, mentorship or training through other leaders, because even our own agents can learn from other of our business partners, and being able to have that type of leverage at our disposal is huge. It's not just the traditional, I have one broker for 500 agents or one broker for 1,000 agents. It's what is the community that surrounds me, so that in the moment that I need to leverage other human resources, they're there at my disposal. They're there. I can count on them. And that's really leading to another level of success. That's leading to another level of success because there's power in numbers. There's power in numbers. There's power in relationships. And it's really, real estate is going back to that human experience. What are your thoughts, Talia?
My first thought that came to my mind was, I wouldn't know how I would react in a moment where, I'm in the middle of maybe some negotiations, or I'm talking to an agent and we're going back and forth, and I didn't have anyone to lean on, right? I'm so lucky and blessed. I do have someone like yourself where I can go to and say, hey, okay, so this just happened. Any tips on what should I do? What should I say? And I think that having that is priceless. You can't put a price on that.
And it's very challenging to be a one-man show. It's very challenging. Even, I'll tell you the truth, as a broker for many years, running my own Century 21 office, one of the biggest elements that I valued the most was being able to have a sounding board, being able to have that running partner who was originally my broker, then became my mentor, then my teacher, my coach, and eventually my business partner. Having the ability to sit with him and having conversations of dissecting a challenge. And that's what agents are missing right now. Is who are you sitting with to dissect the challenge? Who are you meeting with to brainstorm or mastermind on a situation? Who is coming in with a different perspective and having a conversation with your buyer or your seller to be able to keep a deal together, or bring a different vantage point, right? Bring a different vantage point. And that makes such a huge difference in negotiations. Because I remember even when I had issues as a managing broker, one of my agents would come and say, look, the seller doesn't want to give an extension, for example. The seller doesn't want to give an extension, and my buyers, they're ready to close, but we're still missing whatever, XYZ. And being able to, jump on the phone with a different dialogue, with a different energy, with a different vibe. Maybe it was the confidence in the voice of, my running partner that would jump on the phone, and he would just have that conversation, like grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, listen, here's what we need to do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And the other person listening to that level of confidence, just cooperates. So a lot of times I would even reach out to him and say, listen, I need you to make this phone call because I'm just not feeling it. I'm not coming in from strength. He would always tell me, you want to work from strength, not from weakness. I'm like, listen, I'm not coming from a strong point. So he will, okay, let me jump on the phone, and boom, it would get solved. A lot of times, just like with you, I mean, how many times have we shared insights, concepts, ideas, knowledge, mentorship, training, coaching, and we talk about it and we talk about it, and I share it with you and we talk about it and we dissect it. And then we end up going to another training, or we end up jumping on a Zoom with some of our business partners, and you hear the same thing again, and you're like, okay, I got it because I heard it from somebody else. Like, Lucy's been telling me this for months, and now because someone else, a different voice, said it, now I got it, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that, because I know that's happened to you. I mean, it happens to all of us.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened so many times. I mean, I think every time that we're together and we're sharing insights and we're sharing ideas, and you're being a visionary that you are, and then we would hop on. I mean, it happened, I think it was earlier this week, right?
Which one was that? Remind me.
When we hopped on the call, a leadership call with Global Alliance.
And then what happened there? I don't remember.
No, you don't remember?
No, tell me.
No, I mean, about, aligning with the right people and how to find them and what kind of systems to use, and, doing masterminds. And we were literally just we set a mastermind.
Oh, yes.
Like an hour before it happened.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, right. And it validates, and that's what agents need more now than ever. And even team leaders and brokers. Listen, just because you're a team leader doesn't mean you have it all together. As a team leader and a broker, you could have it all, but that doesn't mean you have it all together. And that's where, we need to be humble and open-minded and say, you know what if I aligned with the right kind of people? What if I aligned with people that can give me a different vantage point, can help me up to that next level, can push, drag me to that next level with my permission? What if I surrounded myself with people that ignited my imagination, ignited my knowledge? What if I was able to sit and just have an open conversation with someone that I know is genuinely interested in helping me? And that is what is missing in our Southwest Florida real estate community. Is we are filled with frenemies. Agents are out there like lone wolves. They are not part of a community, and they're not raising their hand because maybe they have too much ego, or maybe they don't even know what they don't know. Maybe they're at their first level of unconscious incompetence, like I don't know what I don't know, right? Even writing a contract. You could write a contract, you forget to do one thing, and that contract could be null and void. That contract could be, done. And here you are like, oh my gosh, what an oversight. So yes, you and I were talking about having this mastermind, which we're going to continue doing masterminds with local real estate agents, because why not? I am determined to disrupt the mentality, the limiting mindset of, oh, you're not from my company, or I'm not from your company, or we can't help each other because we're with different organizations. Why? That is a paradigm. That is not true. and I'll prove it to anybody. When you join the Royal Palm Coast Realtor Association, you're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not 1,000, right? Every year. And you're part of an organization that is filled with all the logos, the brands, the companies, the independents, the names, and you show up at a training and it's all of them coming together. So why is it okay to do it at the association? Because that's what we've been indoctrinated to think. And why can't we do it outside of the association as colleagues? Why can't we come together and mastermind and brainstorm and network together? You know why? Because it is a mindset, and it is a limiting mindset. And I am focused on disrupting that. And I'm looking for the people. I am literally looking for the people that are willing to raise their hand and say, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to be part of that limiting mindset anymore. I want to be part of the mindset that says, together we're stronger, together we're better, together we can do more. I want to be part of the mindset that says, listen, let's share, let's collaborate, let's contribute. I want to be part of the mindset that enjoys getting to know and meet and connect with people where they're at, without being afraid that I'm going to get recruited. Listen, traditional recruiting does not work. Brokers need to understand, if it worked, you would not be held hostage by your agents. You would be aligned with business partners, enjoying real estate, having the time of your life, right? Knowing that, hey, my business partners, it's one for all and all for one. But recruiting is like, my company's number one. We're number one. Look at all our trophies. We're number one. You're alive. You got a license. You've got a heartbeat and a pulse. Let's go. We're going to make you successful. And then a lot of times, I'm not saying every time, but a lot of times, the brokers are the worst competition. So there is a disconnect. There is a fracture in the relationship of our industry. And that's what I believe. That's what I've lived. Listen, I used to be a hostage. I used to be a hostage, for many years. And I remember I was like, there has to be a better way. And I found a better way.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because there's so many agents that I've talked to from different brands, and just inviting them, just simply sending an invitation to something, whether it's online, like a webinar, or it's in person. And almost every single time I spoke to someone, it's always, but I'm with X, Y, and Z, or I'm with this. And they're, does that matter? I'm like, no, it's just an invitation so we can, learn together, right? So we can connect, so we can do this, we can do that. And, some agents are like, okay, that sounds cool, yeah. Others are like, I'm still a little bit hesitant. But, I mean, why do we have to, be like that? You know what I mean? Like, let's just come together. We're all doing the same thing, right? And if we get more collaboration and work together for, just to grow, right? I think that's better than anything else, than the competition, because you never know. Maybe me and you one day will have a transaction, right? I might be the buyer's agent or the seller's agent, or vice versa, and we can actually make the deal work because we've already done something together. So I don't know, maybe because I'm aligned with you, I have that mindset,
That's what it is. It's a limiting mindset. It's a limiting mindset. Number one, we don't understand the power of human resources. We don't understand the power of human resources. Number two, it's a scarcity mindset. I don't want to share my playbook. I don't want to tell you what I do. I don't want to tell you how I do it, because, then you're going to go and be my competition. Hello, you're probably part of a company that your broker is your competition. I've heard stories, and again, I'm not speaking of anyone in particular, I'm speaking in general, but I've heard stories of real estate agents tell me that literally their buyer called the office, they weren't there, the buyer couldn't reach them because obviously they had a job. That's why I'm like, oh my God, listen, let me help you. If you're a real estate agent and you've got a job, let me help you make a transition plan. Please let me help you make a transition plan, because you got to stop the insanity. You have to stop the insanity. Having a job and doing real estate is not it's not the best plan. Do a lot of people do it? Yes, but a lot of people do it out of necessity. There's some people that do it because, I don't know, whatever, they have benefits or they want to retire. I don't know. There's different motives, but I'm talking in general. The agents that are right now going out and looking for jobs because they have to subsidize. If you're looking for a job because you got to subsidize, reach out to me. I can show you how to stay in the business, make money while you stay in the business, so you can subsidize. But don't get out of the industry. Don't go do something that has nothing to do. Don't go, hello, I don't want to say any particular thing, but don't go do something that's outside of the industry and expect to make it in the industry. So long story short, I've had agents tell me, listen, the buyer couldn't reach me. I was at work. They called the office, broker spoke to them. And then the next thing I knew, I found out that they were closing on a property with my broker.
Oh my God.
And I said, well, what happened? And the broker said the customer called the office and I handled it. Listen, if I've heard that story once, I've heard it 10 times. And if I've heard it 10 times, imagine how many other times I haven't, how many other times it has happened to people. So again, right now, the best part of this market is that it is requiring change. Change is hard, it is demanding change. And as a matter of fact, today, there is an amazing session that was put on by a group of all brands, all models, all industry, logos, that is going on all day about mastery and sales. When you have that level of contribution and collaboration, that's where you blow it out of the ballpark. So that being said, in closing, I'm just saying, okay, listen, you need to find, if you are out there struggling with negotiations, if you're out there struggling with keeping deals together, if you're out there struggling with your listings not selling, reach out to me. Let's have a 15-minute conversation because I have ideas I'm more than willing to share with you. Drop the Calendly in the thing, Talia, if you can do that. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? Because I will give you my ideas, my strategies, my innovations, the things that I know that could help. And what's the worst that can happen? You use them and they work. What's the worst that can happen? You use them and they don't work. What's the worst that can happen? You don't use them. You lost absolutely nothing. Why do I do it? Because that's the atmosphere. That's the environment. That's the aura that I'm in. I am here to make a difference in my local real estate community. Giving it all away. Giving it all away. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? I help you. Let me tell you, I help you. And when I need something, someone's going to come and help me. What I do for you, someone will do for me. It is a get by giving mindset that I learned many years ago from one of my coaches, one of my teachers, trainers, actually. He's a trainer, Floyd Wickman. Floyd Wickman, you don't know Floyd Wickman? Go look him up. He said, my philosophy is a get by giving. So if you're struggling with negotiations, if your deals are falling apart, if you are all happy and dandy because now you're going to get a paycheck and suddenly one of the parties decides to do something crazy, right? Pull an ace out on you. Let me help you. If your listings are stuck and they're not selling, let me give you some ideas. Maybe an idea that I give you will ignite the strategy that you need to use. So that's the conversation for today. Thank you so much for, chiming in, for jumping on. We'll continue this again next week. Talia, have an amazing weekend.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.